Here are my 4 big takeaways from the historic No Kings rallies today across the United States. Number 1, people are galvanized. They are ready to take action. Folks have reached the fed up point, right? I think that what the regime is doing is not only hurting enough people directly, but also is activating folks' sense of compassion, is causing people to lean into their humanity. We are witnessing cruel, unjust, inhumane, brutal things that this regime is doing every single day. And Americans are saying, this is not what we stand for. This is not okay. We will not tolerate this. I interacted with so many people today, and forgive me, everybody, I know I'm super awkward in person, but so many people I talked with, and also conversations that I just overheard as I was standing and directing traffic, were people who were excited to turn out for No King's Day, but they understood that that was not the end all and be all. They were like, this is the first thing. I'm ready to do more. I am fucking fed up with this, and this has got to stop. And I think people today, now in October 2025, they really understand that turning out for a march is a great thing, but that is insufficient all on its own to stop this madness. And that brings me to point number 2, which is that the momentum is building. People are ready to take on bigger risks. People are asking to take on bigger risks. I saw so many people today who had signs calling for labor strikes, and maybe it is because the part of the protest that I was connected with was focused on the labor movement. We had kind of pockets with different themes around Portland. And obviously, folks in the labor movement understand the power of organizing and understand the power of economic levers that we can pull. I made a video about this yesterday and posted it today on YouTube about how the next big thing for the resistance movement is going to be more strategic mass economic resistance moves, like massive boycotts, like labor strikes. And I saw people in the crowd, I heard people in the crowd today who were talking about that pretty extensively, like, okay, we're ready for some big actions. We are ready to figure out how to support each other so that we can make those bigger sacrifices in order to put pressure on those pillars of support and see some real change. And I've seen a number of creators talking about how the pendulum is swinging back from this preference for Trump's kind of hate-filled, rage-filled white Christian nationalist vision, this kind of grievance and retribution rhetoric, to more of a focus on humanity and justice and progress as a nation. The Trump movement, Make America Great Again, is regressive, it's reactionary, it wants to take us backward in time. And seeing this desire to move forward, like, no, we dream of a better future. We can have something better. Let's move forward. But when I think of the pendulum swinging, I actually think about how we were kind of in this trough where people understood that shit was not good, but there was not like a lot of action, right? A lot of people were frustrated and upset and are like, why is this madness not over yet? Why has this not been stopped? I think we've now swung into this period where people are realizing like, oh, I have to stop it. Oh, we have to organize. It is us that is going to save us. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who defends democracy? The people defend democracy, because this country belongs to the people and should once again be governed by her people. I think people are realizing they have to step into actions. They have to take risks. We got to risk it for a biscuit. That's my favorite phrase. We got to risk it for a biscuit. We have to step out and be brave and bold. And we saw all of this anticipatory intimidation leading up to No Kings. And I think it is very, very telling that we saw historic turnouts. After Mike Johnson started blustering and threatening, we saw double the number of RSVPs to No Kings. People were basically in my favorite mindset, which is fuck you, make me. You're trying to scare me into submission? No. A little oppositional defiant disorder? Like, no, I am more determined than ever to show up. And I think that is that pendulum swinging back of like, oh yeah, I'm ready to take some risks. Sure, bring it. Let's do it. Much more tenacity and much more determination from Americans. And I think that's great. So now we have to make sure that we give people those next steps. We have to be organizing for those big economic moves, those other ways that we can exert our power, a collective power as the American people. And if you're somebody that went to a No Kings event and you were like, this is just the beginning for me. I'm ready to do more. I'm pumped. What can I do? I've got all this energy. Where can I direct it? Get plugged in with 5051, with Stand Up for Racial Justice, with Indivisible. Whatever your local grassroots group is, get connected with them. Get training in nonviolent resistance. Learn about the tactics and strategies that are required to erode the pillars of support under Donald Trump so that he will topple. Right? We are carrying that momentum from today forward, and we're ready to take on bigger actions. Everybody is getting plugged in. We understand that we don't do this alone. We do this collectively. Millions of us turned out in the streets today. And now we have to stay connected with each other. We have to support each other, organize together, and carry out those direct actions that are going to get the job done. And that brings me to my third point, which is that we are understanding now as a nation that nonviolence is effective. It wins the PR game, especially against a brutal, unjust regime. And we've got to win the PR game. We turned out in the streets today. There were no arrests, according to the NYPD in New York. There were no arrests that I know of in Portland at No King's Day. These were not only nonviolent, they were peaceful events. There's no destruction of property. There's no riots. There's no agitation. We not only deprived the Republicans of all of their talking points, they ended up with egg all over their faces. We got control of the narrative today, and we humiliated them. They humiliated themselves, actually. We did our thing. We showed up with authenticity. We showed up with integrity, with who we are as the American people. Regular, everyday, ordinary folks. We're not violent extremists. We're American citizens. We want the rule of law. And we understand that the regime is trying to push and push and push us to manufacture violence, to manufacture a riot, because they know that if they can paint us in a negative light as violent extremists, that they can try and sway public opinion, and we are depriving them of any ammunition. And because of our commitment to nonviolence, we are winning the PR game. We have gained control of the narrative. That brings me to my last point, which is that this is a movement of regular, everyday Americans. This is who Americans really are, right? Ultimately, 32% of American voters voted for Donald Trump. They were a small minority to begin with. They only won because we had such low voter turnout. They were never a majority. Donald Trump never had a majority. MAGA has never had a majority. The reason we have a Republican-controlled House is because of excessive tremendous partisan gerrymandering in red states. So those are all purple states. And if they had nonpartisan commissions to draw their congressional maps, like a lot of blue states have, then they would be purple or blue states. Republicans can only win if they cheat. They are trying to disenfranchise voters. They are trying to rig the system. That's the only way that they can maintain their grasp on power. But ultimately, it is us, regular, everyday Americans, who, again, the majority of us never voted for Trump. The majority of us don't want Republican rule. Republicans are now deeply, profoundly unpopular. They have pissed off basically everybody. This movement is really who Americans are, as we are watching the No Kings movement across the country, not just the rallies today, but the movement itself, the strong mass public opposition against Donald Trump and the Republicans. That's who Americans are. That's who we are. That's the majority of us. This is a movement that is accessible to everyday people. You don't have to be radical, fringe. You don't have to be on the political left. You just have to want a democracy. You have to want the restoration of our constitutional republic. You just have to want an America of, by, and for the people. And that's how we're going to win. We've seen that in Chile. We've seen that in Serbia. We've seen that in so many other countries. Nepal. It's regular, ordinary, everyday people who are coming together in massive public opposition. That is how you win against authoritarians. It is a popular movement of average folks, not of radical political organizers, not of people who are on the political fringe, not people who are like real hardcore activists and organizers. No, it's regular folks who've never had to resist fascism before and maybe have never really stood up and spoken out for anything before. It's that broad-based, diverse coalition. When you see regular, ordinary folks who are willing to step out and take these risks and are offering to commit and do the work of defending democracy, that's when you know that we're going to stop this. No King's Day today was not only an encouragement to you and me and everybody else who turned out, it was a visible demonstration to the entire world that, like, we're normal folks and we're fed up with this. We are peace-loving, justice-loving, law-abiding folks who refuse to allow Donald Trump's brutality and authoritarianism to take over this country. So those are my 4 big takeaways from No Kings today. We are on the right path. We have to keep it going. We have to build that momentum and do the good work that is ahead of us.